All right, we're gonna go ahead and do our engine bay portion. This is the Big 6.4. These have plenty of power. I love these things. They run really good. My dad is a die-hard Mopar guy, so it's fun being around these. Transmission, that fluid is good. It's at the right level. It's a little higher, right? As transmission fluid wears out, it expands. It is more of that worn out red, kind of that burgundy look instead of that nice pink or ruby red that I like to see. Getting close to 100, probably look at a service on there. Coolant nice. Those are your 150 or 105,000, something like that, or 10 years. So you got time on that. While we're at this corner, I'll show you your frame rail down here. It's in good shape. Nothing looks like it's been messed with. No bends, no wrinkles. Belts and hoses all in really good shape. Both sides, frame looking good there. New battery, so that's always a plus. Not getting cheap anymore. I did make a note, we want to look into the brake fluid here being low. This is your max and your minimum is down there. So we're like closer to the minimum than the max. Also dark in color. It's a sealed system, so if the fluid's ever low, either you A, have a leak, or the pads are so thin that the pistons push that far out. The pads look pretty good. I feel like at this point in age on the truck, I'd probably look into some fluid maintenance and just make sure the system is still sealed well. Power steering on this looks really good too. Nice bowl. It's at the minimum mark, right? But this is after the drive, so it should be up towards the top of that max mark once the fluid gets hot. So you're kind of just above the min. Probably get that fluid looked at too. Brake fluid and power steering are the most neglected fluids, but they're the most used fluids in every day. And people don't really look at it like that, but without those, your day would be hell. And we're just gonna keep moving along. Engine bay checks out really nice. They do this silicone wipe down on here, so it's all really slippery, but it looks nice. Kind of makes it more presentable. And we're gonna keep moving forward here. All right, we're gonna start our exterior portion here. This is a Laramie trim, so it does have the chrome options on the outside, handles, mirrors, bumpers. It does have sensors front and back. I'll touch base on the front, but these all work as intended. One thing we did notice, we have a pretty good bang here on the tailgate, but all this still works one-handed, easy peasy. Nothing's an issue with the operation of it, but it exists. There's a couple chips here, like in scratches, like along these fender liner, but nothing really major. Underneath cab and chassis, or not, like the bed underneath. All that looks really good. No rust, no bubbling, no flaking off. So it's tending out really good. There is like behind the tires and stuff, there's that plastic sealer protector there. On the front here, you see this big bush guard. It is setting off these park sensors here, so it is like, hey, you're constantly hitting something. Well, thinks you're constantly pushing something. These are all responsive though, so they are working. Just if you don't like that, take it off, sell it. Otherwise, just keep it on there. I explained on the interior portion it can be turned off, so you don't have to worry about dealing with that all the time. It does have halogen lights. They are projector with the daytime running lights being LED, and the roof cab lights. I really like those. That's something I wish I got on my truck. Another thing I did notice while walking around on your lights, you have some moisture here. There we go, good focus. We've got some moisture inside here. These get hit with all kinds of debris and stuff, so it could be the most smallest little chip that you can't even see. I can't grab my nail on anything, so it's really insignificant. All that is like marker light, turn light, puddle lamp. It all works. Here's one of those other nicks I was talking about. Try to get this to focus. There we go. So one of those nicks here on the fender liner, or the fender flare. But beyond that, like really good shape. Nothing to really point out, honestly. Nothing like, hey, you gotta see this. So really good exterior portion here. We're gonna keep moving forward on there. All right, so this is gonna be your undercarriage. I always start from the front and just kind of look up and then all the way back. That way you can kind of see we don't have anything hanging or dangling. Nothing wet. That's really good. And then this is solid axle, so you got all your steering components here. It does have the upgraded arm on there, it looks like. Everything nice and dry. You'll see at the ends of the axles, we'll get closer there, but that's also dry, which is always good and important to check on these things, make sure your axle seals are good. The main thing, just looking over everything, your crash rails and everything are really good. Sometimes when I see these brush guards, I get worried that they had like a collision and then they did some work and that's how they got the bumper. So it's always good to check that. We're gonna go to each corner here. All right, this is the driver front corner. There's gonna be your body mount. That is your cab and everything. Really good shape here. And then go up, that's your frame. It's gonna be your track arm. This is your oil pan and transmission pan there, both dry. Crossover for the exhaust. This does have steps, so I keep getting that in front of me, sorry. But everything looks good. It's got skid plates for the transfer case. Solid one-piece driveline because it's not the long bed. Got the tank on the side here. And we're gonna look at your cab corner here. Really good shape. No rust, nothing there. One thing I would just say is just that surface rust. Definitely get an undercoat on this truck. These are 4-link on Rams, so there's no leaf spring. It's a coil spring with shock, and then the link just helps it from wrapping forward and back. I like them. They ride smooth. We're gonna go from the back here. All right, so looking at the back here, you can see your spare. Tire looks pretty good still. This is a chassis mounted hitch. Frame straight. Nothing looks like it's been worked on or changed. You see your axle, nice dry. And then your coils and everything. Sway bar, change over here. Muffler and exhaust is factory, so still has a good tone, but nice and quiet. Muffler in good shape. So it looks really good. All right, I'm climbing under to show you this one. So on top of the diff here, see the shock? There's a shock that goes, it's not on all the trucks, but there's a shock that goes from your rear differential to your chassis for more of a stable ride. Let's see if I can get in here. It's not on all the trucks. I've only seen it on a few. So it's gonna be that yellow shock right in there. It's in good shape. This thing has Bilsteins all the way around, which is good. I just like to point that out because not a lot of trucks have that option equipped. A lot of guys didn't see the point of it, but it really makes it a lot smoother. You just don't feel the shock of the load on bumps and stuff. But here's your body mount, frame, all good shape. So, cab corners are good. I'm gonna move to the forward portion. Body mount, cab corners are really good. I want to get in here and clear the axles. So this is going to be your axle shaft. See how it's dry at the bottom half? We're upside down for your imaging, but that's good. That's what we like to see. We don't want to see wet at the bottom of the axle. That just means those axle seals have started leaking, and that usually involves taking the diff out to replace those. So it's not hard if you've done them, but it ain't fun. We're going to stop here. Pretty good. I do recommend getting that undercoat done. All right, so we're gonna do our interior portion. I like to blow it up and go from outside to the inside, right? So this does have black leather interior, being a Laramie. Door cards in really good shape. This is the big cab, so these back doors open almost straight out. Kind of limits the space here when you're going in. But I mean, if you take turns getting in, it shouldn't be a problem. But that is a good door opening. Plenty of space getting in and out of there. Love that. These are power seats on both the front. Your toolkit for your spares in here as well. They have these all-weather mats underneath. The carpet's basically untouched. Your owner's manual and tire information is all in there. It does have a pocket here. This does have the household plug, 2 charge ports, and then inside here you got your USB aux and another charge port, coin dispenser, and then obviously this folds up into a seat. And then Alpine speakers and everything. Back seat here, basically untouched on this side. I'll show you the other side. It looks like they had a car seat or something in there. Fold this up, you got this storage area. It does button to secure. These are little trays to basically like store something in that spot and not let it slide out or anything like that. Kind of locks it in place. Underneath, this truck is equipped with the factory sub. Sounds pretty good. I've been putting Christmas music on everybody's radios. We're gonna swap sides here. All right, the other door card on this side, really good shape. It's like a black leather, right, with the stitch. The wood's not real, but it looks cool. It's all in good shape. This is the seat I was talking about. It looks like there was just a car seat in here for a long time. Underneath, same story, storage and everything, really good shape. Seat backs are in good shape, not loose or any kind of sag at all. I always make sure that, you know, they look good, and then when you pull on them, the thing pops off, right? We don't want that. Door card on here, really good shape, being the driver door. Nothing wearing on the seal. That's awesome. That's why we like steps. Auto front windows, rear windows. You do have a power sliding rear window. Power folding mirrors, all work as intended. Memory seat on this one, so you can do a couple drivers. Pedals and everything in good shape. I'm gonna hop up in here, so you can move your pedals to and back, or like to the floor and then closer to you. You do have auto lights, push for fog lights. I'm gonna pause here and shut the doors. All right, so at the time of inspection, the car is at 90,456. Laramie, so you have steering wheel controls. It is a heated leather. It does have information, phone controls, cruise control here on the back. This is your sourcing and volume. It does have a manual selector on the transmission, which is nice for like hill grades and stuff. You do have tow haul. Some people just like to let that thing do its thing. Do have some auxiliary switches built in and trailer brakes. Now this is your switch for the front park sensors. Said it a few times different places during the inspection, but that sensor's freaking out because the brush guard on there, so you can turn that off and run the rear one still, and it all works as intended. The sensors still do what they're supposed to because they're just yelling at you, and I can still get corner readings. Put it in reverse here. Good backup camera. You can hear the sensors yell at me for the pole there. So all works as intended very nicely. That's going to conclude the interior portion. It's in very good shape. All right, this is going to be the trunk portion or truck bed portion. This does have a Rhino or a Line-X liner inside. You'll see there's some like paint stains, some pinks, some oranges, some marks. They tried to get it out as best they can, but you know, paint. A couple dings here, some scratches, but really pretty good shape. It's pretty dry in there. You can see where the drain holes are kind of doing their thing up in those corners. Doesn't look like the water pools. It might be just a lot of from when they washed it. I mean, they just pressure wash this out, and then whatever settles, it runs to the front there. Does have good hooks, and this does have the truck bed lighting. All right, and then this does have a leather, so it's like a hard leather rack system. You push this, unlock, and then you roll it and secure it, and then you put it back into these channels. See if I can do it one-handed. Pull it down, there she goes. Nice. Close her up. That's that. So beyond that little dent there, everything works as intended on this. All right, so this is the code scan portion of the vehicle. Down here you can see we like to make sure the VIN on the truck and the computer matches. This is a quick, easy way to do that. Just make sure it matches the door jamb. So while we're doing our scan, it goes through all the different modules associated on the vehicle, and everything passed. And this is always after our drive cycle, just to make sure. We do about 10 miles plus, just to make sure like we're gonna get a good chance for anything to pop, if there was anything to pop. So this is good. We see that there's all passes here, nothing popped up, no stored or history codes in there is what it would mean as well. I'm going to pause here. We're going to go over to our monitors from the drive cycle. All right, so this is going to be the monitors that all do a check while you're driving the vehicle. Basically, they are measuring values that are supposed to be very specific to the computer's programming. Green checks is always what we like to see. If we ever have gray circles with the line through it, that just means it's not a supported monitor. A lot of times on newer cars, those will be intertwined with like other systems. They're very redundant now on cars. The evap did give us an X here, so that's basically the gas vapors in your fuel and emissions system, right? So basically as you drive, it's measuring the vapors in your fuel system and delivering all that kind of stuff. Typically those are reset. Sometimes if the truck's been sitting for a long time, it might take a while for that to reset. I usually get a green check here, so maybe a little more highway driving on this. it does seem like, you know, the battery is brand new, so it's been reset, so it might just have a lot of default values right now from the battery being swapped out. That's the best thing I could assume as to why that didn't reset on my drive. It honestly doesn't give me any kind of worries with that X, as long as everything else checks out really good and I didn't get any drivability or check engine lights while driving. I don't think that's anything to ever concern yourself with, especially on these big trucks. It's a lot of vapors going through there. So we're gonna keep moving forward here. All right, so this is gonna be our conclusions here on the 2017 Ram. This is the gasser with the 6.4, not the 5.7. Overall, it's a Laramie, so trim is very nice. Does have the big cab on it, plenty of power, drives great. Steering was a little bit heavy. The one thing I made note, it doesn't really center. Like after you make slight left or rights, it kind of just stays to that slight left or right. These are heavier trucks, so a little bit that is to be expected, but the Hydro Assist should put it back. You do have a steer head, so basically like centering the wheel adjustment that can be made. Lights and everything look good. I love the cab lights on these. I wish that was something I got on my truck. Tires are in really good shape. They actually have the best tread in the rear right now, so the rotate was done recently. Overall, exterior and everything checked out really, really good on this. The truck has been pretty well taken care of from what I can see. We didn't have any leaks or anything wet. One thing I do want to point out, we just want to make sure we get the undercoat done, that surface rust. We don't want it to get too far. You still have some paint, so it's starting to chip off though with rocks and debris. Salt's just going to keep adding to that and it'll accelerate that growth. But with the Laramie trim, these are actually really nice trucks. I love this look, the silver with the black everything. Truck, like I said, has plenty of power with the 6.4. Four-wheel drive works really good. Tow haul and everything works good. It has a hill descent like assist. When you're going down hills, just coasting, it'll kind of like downshift when you're in tow haul. As far as conclusions on this was a really good inspection. Checks out really good. My only really gripe, honestly, would be the fluid maintenance on the brake fluid, and get some undercoating on this so that surface rust doesn't go anywhere. In conclusion, great little truck, or bigger truck. That's going to be our wrap up here.